hurling quarter-finals between Waterford and Galway, and the throw-in is at 4 o'clock. That's in about 15 minutes' time. Well, Cyril Farrell, that clip we saw there, we saw some good ones for Galway. It's the task now of this present team to try and match some of that.
Yeah, and I think there's a belief in God that this could be the team to do it. They're after getting a few wins under the belt, played Laois first day, lost to Kilkenny, and then got a run against Clare and Cork, another here against Waterford. And like, they're short one or two players that are injured, but there's a big panel there and they seem to be working good. The work ethic is very strong this year, and there's a different fella playing well every day. Like the last year, you had Andy Smith coming good, you had Angus Canlan, and like you had Ger Farrer, who's been only on and off the team. Now they're there today in their own right. The question mark would be, I suppose, like, if they were that good, how come they weren't on the whole time? You know what I mean? Like, they're still only... One good game doesn't make them. They have to put two games together. There is the belief there that they're coming on a roll and they should take care of Waterford.
Because, Ger, that Galway team that we saw there, and we call Cyril Farrell's team, has great players, but good leaders on the field as well.
Well, that was the whole thing. You see the half-back line alone. Look at that. You had three massive leaders in the half-back line. You had Conor Hayes at full-back, you had Sylvie, you had all kinds, you had destroyers, you had hurlers, you had every kind of player. You had every kind of player.
Shows a very
you had every kind of player needed.
I think
well, yeah, we can more.
I call that creativity. Go on anyway.
Whatever, yeah. But they had every kind of a player, every kind of a quality player on the team. It remains to be seen whether this team can take that step forward, you know. But I would be wary of Waterford today, because Thurles is Waterford's field of dreams, and in the last 8 or 9 years they've produced some of the greatest hurling we have seen has been produced by some of these players, and for many of them today is their last tour of that battlefield. And when players are on their last tour, I'll tell you, they will give 100, they'll give everything today to try and win this game. Now, they haven't been going well up to now. Is it in the legs?
Has Davy allowed them that freedom though to express themselves?
They haven't been expressive.
They're not the same Waterford team that I've seen over the last number of years, right?
Tomas, I really think today, if the likes of Owen Kelly can come alive, I mean in a positive way, not to pin on Drummond, if he can come alive, even the last he was very nearly coming alive, missed a few goals, if he comes alive, he could nearly take this game by the scruff of the neck.
I'd prefer to see Owen Kelly out the field. I think he's a better man on the loose ball out the field rather than inside the full forward. I'd expect John Millan to be playing at full forward today. I would expect Aidan Kearney maybe to go back and Canning, and maybe Declan Prendergast going to the wing, and maybe Kevin Moore going to the wing. There'll be a lot of changes here, but the key issue here, right, has somebody to back up John Millan? Have they got the talent that's up there?
Just suppose Owen Kelly has a good game. We're not very pleased. If Owen Kelly ignites the way he can ignite, I think he could ignite the crowd. You're kind of waiting all year for him to do it, and he hasn't really done it.
The secret is the full back line, the one for full back line. If they start giving away goals, gifts, say here you are, put that into the net like they did against the Prairie, that would be a complete disaster. Now when you're up against Joe Canning, Damien Hayes and Healy, they're just as you will ever meet.
That is the key.
Any mistakes there will be really, really punished, and that's even more important than how the forwards play.
Tomas, to pick up on what Ger was saying a moment ago there, that a team on their last tour of duty will give it one last shot. I'm wondering if maybe last year wasn't Waterford's last tour of duty.
Well, you see, Michael, I mean, like the defeat in the All-Ireland final would have taken an awful lot of out of individuals in the team, you know, and missing the likes of Ken McGrath today. I mean, you're talking about leaders. I mean, there's been no better leader in the Waterford camp over the years than Ken McGrath, you know. So then that mantle passes us over. Then I suppose it goes over to the likes of Seamus Prendergast, 7-4, Owen Kelly, you know, and John Millan. I mean, John Millan, in fairness to the guy, I mean, he's been playing most defences on his own, you know. But I mean, whether like Davy can get the best out of him or not, I don't know. There's something telling me that all is not right below in the Waterford camp with Dan Shannon and stuff like that. Hurling here, like mentioned, Jack Kennedy walking off the panel.
Dan's been off form, but he could watch him get a goal.
Dan Shannon off form.
Let's hear a word from the two managers then. They are David Fitzgerald, the Waterford boss, and John McIntyre, the man in charge of Galway. They'll be giving their views to Joanne Cantwell.
Well, David, were there any late problems, any late changes?
No, everything is good. The 15 players they've named will be the 15 that will play.
You were annoyed at a few basic errors in the last game. How confident are you that you've got rid of those today?
Listen, you're always hopeful that they'll be gone. You don't know for sure, right? We need to have a big attitude today. We need to have a big performance. We're playing an informed Galway team, but being honest, if we play to our best, hopefully that'll be good enough.
And do you think that's within them? Have you seen that so far this year?
Yeah, in different patches. We played in patches, you know, so we haven't played a full 70 minutes yet. We need to get that out of them. Today wouldn't be a bad day to start, you know.
John, any late hiccups or problems with the team?
No, clean bill of health. Obviously, most people are aware now that we've lost two of our first choice defenders over the past couple of weeks, Adrian Cullinan and Shane Kavanagh. Eugene McEntee is coming in today at full back, making his championship debut at 30 years of age, but he's from Portumna and they're well used to the big occasions, big days and All-Ireland victories.
particularly big from today, isn't it, given how strong Waterford's full forward line is?
Yeah, but like we can't focus on any individual player in our own team or on the opposition's either. I mean, it's a team game. If our 15 players produce what they're capable of on the day, it's going to take a really top-class effort from Waterford to beat them. We're relishing playing the third game in 15 days. We're relishing the prospect of becoming the first Galway team ever to beat Waterford. And the injuries, we've just dealt with it. That's the strength of our squad, and there's no excuses for Galway if we lose today. Our guys are primed for a big performance, and I'm expecting a big effort from them on the day.
OK, news of the two teams ahead of this second quarter-final. We head over to the commentary box to hear from Marty Morrissey and Michael Duignan.
Thank you very much, Michael. It's interesting to see that Waterford and Galway have met 8 times in the past, and Galway have never won. This is the Waterford team that's been named, but don't be surprised if there's a whole load of positional switches. There is definitely one change in personnel to the selection that started in the Munster final against Tipperary. Dunhill's Shane Casey makes his championship debut at top of the left, and thus joins two great warriors from the Déisi County, John Milan and Owen Kelly in the full forward line. 36-year-old Tony Brown is still producing the goods at right half back, beside Michael Brick Walsh and Aidan Carney, who's named at number 7. The team captain is left half forward Stephen Malumphey. Right through the summer of 09, you get the feeling this Galway team are finally taking shape. The tribesmen, however, have a new full back today in Eugene McEntee, who incredibly is only making his first championship start for his county at 30 years of age. John Lee has been very impressive at 6, while Ger Farrer and Kevin Hines have developed a good understanding at centre field. Up front, of course, Joe Canning is the main man, with considerable assistance from Niall Healy in the scoring stakes. Between them, they've scored the staggering total of 8 goals and 45 points in just 4 championship matches. Well, Michael Duignan is with me. Let's have a more detailed look at the Waterford setup. Clinton Hennessy conceded a number of goals in the Munster final, Michael.
He did, yeah, but I think there were more from mistakes and the full back line around him. He's generally very safe to our hands.
What do you think of this full back line? Will Declan Prendergast line out at full back?
Well, I believe maybe Aidan Carney is going to switch in there. Declan Prendergast going out onto the wing, and he really relished that in the semi-final, in the Munster final.
Tony Brown, still a wonderful hurler.
Well, incredible, 36 years of age. He's been around for 17 or 18 years now in the Waterford team, and he's still producing massive performances. And Michael Walsh, to me, has been outstanding this summer, the #1 centre back in the country.
What about the midfield combination for Waterford?
Yeah, they played together for the first time the last day. Kevin Moran plays centre back for his club, and Shane O'Sullivan, great game against Limerick the second day. So, they don't look like the most natural midfield pairing, but they're hard out battlers.
Seamus Prendergast has scored 5 points so far in the championship.
Yeah, and I think he's been playing at the wing and full forward. I think centre forward is his best place, and John Lee's been very influential for Galway, so I expect Prendergast to do a holding job there.
What do you make of this full forward line, Michael? Because the rumour is that John Milan might actually start at full forward.
Yeah, and that would discommode Galway, because Ollie Canning would be primed to mark him, and if he goes in there, and they move Eugene McEntee out in the corner, that won't help him. But Owen Kelly is the man. Milan has been brilliant, 5 points a game, I think, in his last 9 championship games. But Owen Kelly is the man they need to produce the goods today.
Let's have a more detailed look at Galway. Colm Callanan has done well between the posts.
He has, very solid. First year maybe getting a good run in the team, and he's done very well.
The big talking point, of course, is the number 3, Eugene McEntee.
Great player for Portumna, one of 6 Portumna players, which is an incredible statistic in the Galway team. Big day for him at 30, making his debut, and it's a big ask for him.
We know about John Lee, but Owen Lynch has done well since moved from midfield to wing back, hasn't he?
He has. He's a good midfielder, big strong man, and he was under a bit of pressure against Ben O'Connor, and he was switched off, and Fergal Moore switched across, and he did well for the rest of the game against Cork.
The two midfielders did well the last day against Cork, didn't they?
Ger Farrer, I think, relishes the space. He's in there maybe because of the injuries, but he did very well the last day. Kevin Hines, a fierce hard worker in the middle of the field, and very mobile.
What about this half forward line? Is it incisive enough?
Well, I think so. I think the last day they came of age, Angus Callanan and Andy Smith scored a couple of points each. Sir Donlan didn't have a good game the last day, but played very well against Clare, and I think they're a very, very hard working unit.
And of course the full forward line, there's only one man to talk about.
Well, I don't know. The 3 of them are very good players, Damien Hayes and Healy, but overshadowed by Joe Canning. He's only scored a point from playing the last 2 games, but I have a feeling today that Joe Canning could be featuring very, very prominently, and at 5-2 to be the top scorer from play, I think it's a good bet.
Well, we look forward to this match. No changes on either side, and for the moment we'll go back to Michael.
Sure, I suppose you'd always be putting money on Joe Canning, wouldn't you? Let's go back to the other side of the Galway team selection, Cyril. Yet another Portumna player on this team at full back in this stage to go in there. What's he like?
Yeah, he's a bubbly customer. He would always feel, he'd say to me, listen, Farrell, when am I going to get a chance in the Galway team? I said, sure, the boys are looking at you, you must be doing something wrong. He'd be confident, but at the same time, no, it's a big ask. He has Ollie beside him, and he's a gas ticket. In the club, Hurling, like, plays very well, but he'd been trying to talk to the lad, to be honest. The next thing he'd be gone. He's a kind of a bit of a, like, you know, a bit of a scoundrel like Lucknan was, Hurling, that kind of way, but he's a good back.
He won't be overawed.
No, he won't be overawed, but it's still a big ask, like, and it depends who's in there. Now, if Vaughan Kelly's in there going well, and I wouldn't be surprised at some stage if Big Dan come on in there, because he's a big man at the edge of the square, but like, there's a lot of Portum lads, he'd feel he's at home, and he will feel that he should be on, even though he wouldn't be first choice.
Yeah, let's talk about, come back to the other side of the Galway team again. You mentioned there a moment ago about the Waterford defence, if they give chances to fellas like Niall Healy and Damien Hayes and that, but they haven't sparked just yet in this championship.
No, they haven't sparked, and I suppose we all saw the reason the last is because they were playing way too far out. Joe playing out around 60 yards, sometimes even beyond the halfway line. Now in the second half, in fairness, they did change it. They moved their full forward line right in and left the gap between the full forward line and the half forward line. Now, look at the big clash today, Declan Prendergast on Joe Kelly. If you leave Joe on side of the edge of the square, if you leave Damien close to him, Declan Prendergast had an absolute nightmare here the last day until he moved out to the half-back line. He was brilliant when he moved to the half-back line. But if I don't know why John isn't doing this. If John keeps Joe inside today in the full forward line with Healy and Hayes beside him, they have the potential to cause absolute havoc. And like, as Michael said, I was just going to say it, I think today Joe is going to do something special today because he's a proud man. He hasn't done anything in the championship of real note. He has pointed on the freeze.
He's got 1-1 for playing in three matches.
1-1 which is light Joe. And today is the day. Tullis is the place. This is the occasion in which he could really turn it on.
Tomorrow we're going to have a look at the Waterford team for a change and a couple of players there. You know, we talked about some of the great players. I mean, there's fellas like Tony Brown there, or Milan and that kind of stuff. But the last couple of years, a player like Michael Brick-Walsh has come into the side and really been one of those players who's added something to it.
Yeah, he was fantastic the last day here against Tip in the Munster final as well. I mean, he certainly was a contender up there for man of the match, even though Seamus Callan did an awful lot of movement in the central position. But what I liked about him, he held his ground at number 6. He held his position, right, and showed great leadership as well, you know. And I think the crucial thing for the likes of Brick-Walsh today is like keep the troops in front of him from not conceding stupid frees and stuff like that. We saw last weekend against Cork. I mean, all the frees that were out there. If Joe Kenny gets a free down in the square in Thurles, you'd nearly be guaranteed he's going to put her over the bar, you know. So, I mean, that's the reality with it. I mean, discipline is going to be a huge issue for Waterford today. I mean, and like, the no better man than the likes of Brick-Walsh to rally the troops, Tony Brown, to keep the guys playing the ball at all times.
And in the middle of that group, Cyril, there we see Seamus Prendergast, the Waterford full-back in the huddle as Davy is revving them up there. I'm sure he's been awake a couple of nights just thinking about Joe Canny.
Well, sure, he'd know him well because he has him 3 or 4 years in college in Limerick. But like, he would be, but he'd be devising plans. I would expect Waterford to be not playing the positions.
I don't think he's going to be on Joe Canny.
And I would also feel that he'll play defensively. He will try to stop the movement up front of the Galway half forward line and full forward line. And now the boys are right. The full forward are going out too far. They're not going to score goals 40, 50 yards and goals. You need to be near the square. But I would think Fitzy bring back an extra man, try to crowd out, try to keep the score down, and put a bit of doubt in Galway's mind because they are playing from the front and they're playing well. A lot will depend on how Waterford start. If they start well, they could cause a shot, but you'd have to say Galway are hot favourites here.
I listened to an interview with Davy Fitz during the week and he was talking about what he was trying to instill into the Waterford players and some of the things he was trying to get them to do and teach them. And he said one interesting thing, Ger. He said some will listen to you and maybe some won't.
Yeah, well, that was shown here the last day. We saw Owen Kelly going out past his halfway line to take a free. We saw Davy and Tony Brown begging him to go back into the square and stay where he was. What did he do? He took the free 50 yards of his own goal. He lobbed it into the square where he should be himself. So something like that.
That hasn't happened yesterday.
That's Davy's fault. Now, simply seriously during the week he has had an act of contrition, and today he's going to do everything possible. We'll have to wait and see.
All right, lads, our own Ian down on the pitch, so let's join that.
Good afternoon and welcome to the second of the All-Ireland quarter-finals here in Semple Stadium. Match referee is Diarmuid Kerwin, a native of Ballishgannock in County Offaly, but of course now attached to Ovens in County Cork. He refereed the 2007 All-Ireland final between Kilkenny and Limerick. A large crowd gathered for this match. The last time they met was in 2006 in a qualifier in Walsh Park, and Waterford won. They also met in 1966 in the Munster Championship, believe it or not, and Waterford won by 10 points. Can Galway change all the records, all the statistics, and win a place in the All-Ireland semi-final? Here's Owen Kelly. First free of the quarter-final goes to the Daishies.
Yeah, Martin, as expected, you mentioned before the game, John Milan has gone in full forward straight away on Eugene McEntee, and Aidan Kearney has started full back on Joe Canning. I'm not so sure about that move. I thought maybe Declan Prendergast's physical strength on Joe Canning might be important in the edge of the square today. But
I presume, Michael, it's a tactical decision by Davy Fitz and his co-selectors to try and expose Eugene McEntee on his debut.
Yes, to put him under more pressure. You see Kilkenny often do that when the new man is in. They target him early in the game. You'll often see Eddie Brennan, maybe Henry Shefflin switching on to the new man, and that's exactly what Waterford and Davy Fitz are doing today.
Malone Kelly obviously has ankle problems, and you can see its left foot is being heavily strapped. All-star back in 2002 in his debut season. That was against Cork. He scored a goal and 25 points in 3 games, and certainly the man on form at the moment for Waterford.
Tough free to start with, Martin. Normally like a handy one, maybe 30-40 yards out in front of the goals, and this is a tough one to start with. It's a super free taker.
Former Mount Sion now playing with Passage, and Waterford are on their way. The opening score. By the way, Galway won the toss and are playing from left to right. And unfortunately the dark clouds are hovering over us once again. We've had sunshine, we've had torrential rain, we've had a real cocktail of weather as Ger Farragher has a pop from out in the middle of the field, and that ball is driven wide. Certainly expressed himself rather well in that match, that qualifier game against Cork. Clinton Hennessy from Ardmore in County Tipperary also made his first appearance against Cork. That was in 2005. Seamus Prendergast bats it down. Ger Farragher into the space. Nice little touch on there by Damien Hayes. Aidan Kearney is gone full back, as Michael mentioned, marking Joe Canning. This is Tony Brown. Hurler of the year 11 years ago. He's 36. Look at the passion.
Incredible athlete, and one of the great players. Like 1998, Marty, we won the All-Ireland. Tony Brown got Hurler of the Year that year, and he's still playing to the top of his game now, which is incredible. I just note there as well, Seamus Prendergast is out on left half forward on Damien Joyce, who's gone out in the wing, and he's a huge height advantage over him, so I think you'll see Clinton Hennessy looking to pick him out with the puckouts as well.
I think you'd want a computer up here with us, Michael, because Jamie Nagle seems to be at midfield. Kevin Moran is at right half forward. I'm sure all the changes will settle down after a while. Stephen Malumphey is leading the Daishies this year and hoping to lead them to an All-Ireland semi-final. Good work by Damien Joyce from Capitaga. Eugene McEntee gets his first touch in a senior championship match. He's won 3 All-Ireland club medals with Portumna. Still a big game for him. Coming across is Niall Healy. Back outside for Cyril Donlan. Works hard to regain the possession. Passes inside towards Joe Canning. Flicks it back, fires Niall Healy again. Tries to make a bit of room. There was a little bit of a chop down there by Seamus Prendergast. Spotted by the referee. And that's going to be a free for Galway. And Waterford should not be doing this, because they should have learned their lesson from Joe Canning's exhibition against Cork.
Yeah, they're going to harmless free, you know, chop in a difficult enough chance for Niall Healy there, and you know, if a lad gets a point from play and he's under pressure, fair play to him. That's the way I look at it, rather than nearly a certain score every time.
You know, we're inclined to forget that the man on your television screens at the moment is only 20 years of age. He will not be 21 until next December. This to level the match for the first time on the 45, straight over the black spot, sides level.
Yeah, Martin, and I made that point, I think the last day Galway played Cork, some people say he's only scoring the frees, but you come out 90, 100 yards out in hurlers and put the ball over the bar. And one of the umpires for Brian Gavin the last day said to me, every one of them went within maybe a foot of the black spot, even from 100 yards out. And maybe he sets very high standards for himself, but just because he's not scoring from play doesn't mean he's not making a major contribution.
Batted down towards left half forward Andy Smith. Saw him play with Portunda, and he's a real workhorse. Ball inside, Aidan Carney. I actually saw him play in the National League and at fullback, and I was highly impressed. This is going to be a real baptism and a real test for him, marking young Joe. Stalemate out and around the centre of the field, but it's Malumford that's coming away with it. Hand passes it into space. Here's John Milan. Ollie Canning shoulders him over the sideline. The referee is indicating it could well be a free rather than a sideline ball. We'll see exactly what the final decision is in a moment, but just having a word with the left corner back and of course captain of Galway, Ollie Canning.
Yeah, I'd say Ollie is disappointed actually that John Milan is not on him. He didn't start him. Ollie relished the challenge and he let John know that he was around. He gave it, it's definitely a free in, all right. I'm not sure what it was for.
Owen Kelly will be, I'm sure, anticipating that his first cousin will join him on the field of play. And that, of course, is Dan Shanahan. Owen Kelly looks at the target and the white flag is raised for the second time.
That's another brilliant free. Kelly, two very, very difficult frees to start with and straight over the bar.
Slight breeze favouring Galway in this opening half. Here's Ger Farraher. Can't control it. Comes down for us Jamie Nagle, who is definitely playing in midfield. Batted down by Eugene McEntee. Sent forward all the way for us Clinton Hennessy. Has the time to gather. Good ball out to the wing, but it carried a little bit too much pace. Picked up instead by Angus Callanan. Has scored consistently in this championship campaign. 8 points in 4 games. That's his first in a quarter-final.
And that's a great score, Marty. Angus Callanan got man of the match here against Cork last week, and great score to start. And I think the mobility of him and Andy Smith already causing problems for the Waterford half-back line.
Sides level for the second time after 7 minutes. Prendergast gets a hurl to it. This is Damien Joyce from Capatago. Hand passes it inside for Cyril Donlan. Very much the character on this Galway team. Lovely lads. This time it's a sideline ball for Galway. Joe Canning again. He's done it before. This is an artist. I can not exaggerating or over-exaggerating on the part of Joe Canning. Very special talent. Now can he do it? Let's see. Floating one in. Should be easy for Tony Brown. Didn't quite control it. We saw in the Limerick Dublin game there's a lot of slipping and sliding. Tony will be disappointed that he didn't control it.
Yeah, and we see Ref Stisher been a lot quicker on that one, Marty. Just rolled over the ball. He lost control here, and Tony Lowe himself maybe touched on the ground first and then got in over it, and he can't do that. It's a free in.
So once again it's Joe Canning. And of course Davy Fitzgerald, the Waterford manager, will know all about Joe Canning, as Davy was manager of the Limerick IT team that won the Fitzgibbon Cup.
Will he go for it here?
Possibly going for a goal here. Blasting it over the bar.
He did, and I think there's about 7 maybe of this Galway, 7 or 8 of this Galway panel have worked with Davy Fitz in Limerick, and at that age he would have been a big influence on their career, and probably passed on a lot of advice to them, and he's hoping that some of it maybe doesn't pay off today.
Loose ball picked up by Kevin Hines. Sending it in low, Damien Hayes. Good control. Good block down as well by Noel Connors in his first championship season. The Passage Club. And it's Connors that's doing a lot of the hard work there. He's under pressure and he wins himself a free. Noel Connors is one of the new emerging stars in Waterford. He won a Harty and All-Ireland colleges, 2 of them in fact, with his school De La Salle, who continued to do great work. This was a great block down by young Connors. Clinton Hennessy taking the free up towards Seamus Prendergast. Jeff Farraher is there foraging, but it's Fergal Moore that comes away with it. Can play corner back or wing back. I think he's happy once he's playing on the team. Michael Brick Walsh down towards John Milan. Is he held? Is he fouled? The referee says get up, continue on. The Galway fans cheer, the Waterford supporters protest. And once again it's Kevin Moore flicking inside to Malumphey. Not a great pass. Prendergast is there, but Jeff Farraher is back there helping his half-back line. Dropping it in towards Big Joe. There's the big hand. Joe cutting inside. They can play football in Portumna. I didn't know it. It's over the bar. His first from play, his third in the game.
Yeah, well, Marty, it's a brilliant score, great catch, and I think he was fouled after it, but Waterford aren't going to be happy down the other end. John Milan was definitely fouled, and then Owen Lynch caught the ball 3 times then before he cleared it, and they're going to be very unhappy with that score.
Tuck out by Clinton Hennessy, gathered superbly by Seamus Prendergast. Sends it in towards Milan, just lost his footing in the greasy surface, recovered rather well. Needs a bit of support, he's lost the hurling. Back to Owen Kelly. Nice little jink inside, that's beautiful. If it reaches the target, it's wide. It looked as if it was going over the bar, but the umpire, I think, was in a good position, Michael.
Yeah, it was definitely wide. We're looking straight across at it here, and nice sidestep. And with John Milan there involved in, I'd say, maybe a couple of incidents there where he's taken a couple of heavy knocks, and his first touch maybe not what he should have been there on that ball.
Long puck out by Colm Callanan. Niall Healy and Andy Smith over there. Sideline ball goes to the tribesman. Once again, it's Joe Canning. Dermot Kerwin is going to have a word with his linesman, one of them, John Sexton. In fact, there's only a technical problem. His earpiece has fallen out.
Seamus Prendergast gave him a bit of helpful advice there as well.
And Joe Canning, 2 All-Ireland minors, 2 under-21 All-Ireland medals already in the family home in Portumna. Great sideline cut. Doesn't have the accuracy. It's wide. Second wide of the match for Galway.
Yeah, we'll always have this debate, you know, when they go over, I said it in the last game, they're fantastic and maybe should be 2 points awarded, but when they go wide, you're saying maybe he should drop them in and he should be in there himself.
Against the breeze, it's quite a good puck out by Clinton Hennessy. This is Angus Callanan from the Lean Mellows Club in Galway City. Floating this one in, it's looking good. It's his second.
Yeah, great score again, and I think it was broken down there. Callanan very, very sharp onto the ball, and you can see the wind behind, and he just gave that a small flick from 80-90 metres, and the rain coming down heavy now as well, Martin.
Angus Callanan is the only player that's played in every competitive match this year. 3 Walsh Cup, 2 Railway Cups, 7 National Leagues and 4 Championship matches. Good record to have. Here's Stephen Malumphey. Real bundle of energy, hoping to lead his county to that All-Ireland semi-final. Good ball inside. Ollie Canning. John Lee is there. Here comes Milan. Milan obviously told Malumphey to leave it. Blocked down by John Lee. Gets it out first, his captain, Ollie Canning. He'll want to hit it onto the left-hand side, can do it on the right-hand side as well. And Galway, under a little bit of pressure, Damien Joyce, the referee, Dermot Kerwin, this time felt that Joyce had enough time to get rid of the slither. So it's a free in for Waterford, and there's a little bit of dissent perhaps as well.
Well, Marty, we had a couple of instances to this in the last game too, and I not want to be critical of the referee now, but you have to give a player a chance to play the ball. It's nearly counterproductive to win the ball now. The tackling is so hard and players are so fit, but he didn't even get a chance to take a step or two there to release himself from the tackle, and I'd be giving him the benefit of the doubt to keep the game moving.
And referees vary, don't they? One referee will give a free to the defender, the other referee will give a free to the attacker. It's raining here in Peerless at the moment. It's misty as Owen Kelly takes this free and once again finds the target. Joe Canning and Owen Kelly, 3 points apiece. Angus Callanan with 2. The only scorers so far. 5 points to 3, heading towards the 15th minute of this first half. Comes out for Seamus Prendergast. Pulls in it. Goes back, far as Kevin Moore. In towards Milan. Got a touch, but didn't quite control it. Under the conditions, quite difficult. Looking around at options. Owen Kelly wanted in around the square. Here comes Prendergast through the centre. Takes the opportunity to register another point for Waterford.
Martin, great score there from Waterford. Brilliant ball by Kevin Moore into the corner, and John Milan showed us more than one strand to his game and had a look up, and good run by Seamus Prendergast and over the bar. Lovely score.
Scored 4 points against Limerick in that replay game, 5 in total going into today's quarter-final. Great catch by Andy Smith. On the turn, the umpire is adamant, no doubt in his mind, wide ball. Made his championship debut this year against Laois. She was picked at centre field.
Yeah, good movement there by Andy Smith away from Tony Brown, and he's picked up a lot of ball over in that wing since it started again.
Tuck out is aimed over that far wing. In the centre, Stephen Malumphey. Floating this one in high. Milan was hoping it would come in low. Well blocked down. Good work by Shane Casey. Owen Lynch was fouled. That's going to be a free for Galway. More a natural midfielder. That's where he played with Portum in the 3 All-Ireland club finals. But he's adapted well to life at left half back. Colm Callanan from Kinvara. Dropping this in towards Big Joe again. This time the referee felt Joe Canning was inside the small rectangle. He did catch the slipper, by the way.
Well, he wasn't inside. I think it was more that I thought he just spread his body to make room for himself, and he gave a free from Holden. Again, a harsh one, I think. The wind seems to be stiffening. That was a long way out, that free, and it landed right in the square.
Malumphey flicking inside towards Owen Kelly, well intercepted by Fergal Moore. Sideline ball for Waterford.
Yeah, I think no more than Galway's half forward, and Stephen Malumphey is causing a lot of trouble with his pace there. He's bringing John Lee all over the place and causing a lot of room for the rest of the forwards around him, making a lot of room.
Shane O'Sullivan's line ball comes far as Kevin Moore and his midfield partner. The umpire goes for the flag. That's a good score.
It is. I don't think Kevin Moore never thought he'd find himself playing wing forward in an All-Ireland quarter-final for Waterford. More of a back, but doing very well over there and a nice score.
Well, he played centre-back for De La Salle, played left half-back sometimes for the county and midfield, but I've never seen him play in the half-forward line. You're dead right. Down at the other end, it's Niall Healy. That seemed to hit off the post. That seemed to go over the bar. The umpire has signalled wide, and the referee has no doubt either. Niall Healy is protesting to John McIntyre.
And if you look at where the ball finished up here, it finished on the left-hand side. Watch the shot here. It looked like to me it hit the upright because it finished on the far side of the goals, and it couldn't have got there if it hit the outside of the post.
I think Niall Healy is right. I'll have to check it out. Didn't count, however. That ball is sent in again low to Joe Canning, or to John Milan, I should say. Ger Farragher, Cyril Donlan, floating it in, and that ball is wide.
Yeah, Andy Smith hit one before that. Joe Canning made a great run off camera into the corner. All Cyril Donlan had to do was flick it into him. There was no one within 20 yards of him, and bad wide.
And when you're playing with the breeze, the temptation is to drop in and go for scores from way out. But Joe Canning is also playing around the 35-45 metre line.
He is, and he's still making some good runs, and they need to be trying to find him.
Absolutely. This is Kevin Hines. Knocked out for as Michael Brick Walsh has really made the centre half-back jersey his own, particularly in the absence of Ken McGrath. Out far is Shane Casey from Dunhill. Colm Callanan comes off his goal line. Owen Kelly will do his best to hook him. Callanan gets it far as Ollie Canning. Well blocked down indeed by Shane Casey. Anticipated what Canning was going to do. And still the Galway captain is there. Under ferocious pressure. Stephen Malumphey bursting his way forward. Is he taking too many steps? The referee certainly feels that Malumphey overcarried. That's going to be a free for Galway.
It's ferocious tackling though, Marty. We saw it here last week with the Cork lads as well, and Stephen Luffy gets the ball there. You know, looks to be Andy Smith's hurl is in there, and he's running across trying to make room for himself. And there's the Galway half forward line working so hard off out the field.
Loose ball again. Clinton Hennessy came off his goal line, but he didn't receive it. This is Declan Prendergast. Not a good pass from the fullback, who is now playing out in the half-back line. Waste of possession. Simple mistakes that we saw in the Munster final. Certainly Waterford have tried, and David Fitzgerald has tried to emphasise, to do the simple things and do them well.
Yeah, but I think they'll be happy enough. 20 minutes gone, you know, draw a match and they're playing against the wind, and Galway, you know, doing some good things but hitting a few bad wides like they did against Cork early on. This is Joe's third line ball now. Hasn't hit either the other two over the bar, so I think he either get this one or he maybe doesn't take any longer ones from now on.
Scored one sideline against Cork. He's really cut that one neatly, but it's never going to swing. Half a dozen wides now for Galway in the opening 20 minutes. It's a very special skill, and of course we all love it when it happens. There's Ken McGrath. I spoke to him before the game, and he hasn't even started to jog yet, and he's very frustrated with that injury. Comes down far as Fergal Moore from Turlough twice an All-Ireland minor medalist in 99 and 2000. Aidan Carney won Harty Cup in All-Ireland colleges with St. Coleman's College from Moy in County Cork. Back to Carney. That's Owen Murphy, in fact, that's delivering that ball. Middle of the field, Jeff Farragher coming in to intercept. Referee is going to have to blow the whistle. He just has. This is going to be a throw ball. Interesting to see off camera that Owen Kelly is now back at full forward.
Yeah, John Milan's gone back into his more natural corner on Ollie Canning, and that's what we were hoping for from the start, that there should be a fair battle between the two of them.
Well pulled on by Jeff Farragher. Puts Galway into a good position, but not for very long, as Cyril Donlan has to go back. His opposite, number 11, Seamus Prendergast, comes in to challenge. Tony Brown is there as well. Niall Healy is waiting for it. He's wearing 15 with the red helmet. Out it comes, and once again it's Waterford that have the possession thanks to Kevin Moore. Well, Lumpy doesn't quite gather it. Coming through the centre, John Lee. That seemed to be a frontal charge rather than shoulder to shoulder, and another free for Galway. It's a bit scrappy, isn't it?
It's very scrappy, Marty. You know, we're expecting maybe a lot more fireworks on some of the forwards we have on display here, but the backs on both sides well on top. Eugene McEntee has settled down very well at full back for Galway, and the Waterford full back line all doing very well. Owen Murphy and Aidan Carney and Noel Connors doing very well on the much vaunted Galway full forward line.
Aidan Carney requiring some attention. Made his championship debut against Cork 2 years ago. Now in his third championship season. Known affectionately as Ringo.
Yeah, I think I just noted the last high ball coming down, he was fairly close to Joe Cannon. I think Joe might have swung around with an elbow or a handle to hurl and to shake him off and hit him fairly hard, and I think he's trying to make that point to the ref there as well.
Brian Cody is in the attendance along with his wife, former Wexford Camogie star.
That's right, but I'm amazed, Marty, with him. He never misses a match. You know, we're always in the crowd picking him out, but I've met him all over the country at club matches and county matches, and you know, he's make sure he's up to date on every other county team, and that's why he's so successful.
Aidan Carney has gone back in full back. Joe Canning is looking to John Sexton, the linesman, to see where is the free to be taken, because the referee is not contactable at the moment.
Another 5 yards won't make any difference to this man.
3 points so far he's scored. 2 from frees, 1 with the boot. He follows it through. He jogs into his position, knowing that is bang over the bar. Waterford, by the way, haven't scored now since the 12th minute, and we're heading towards the 25th.
Yeah, the thing is, Galway haven't scored that much either. You know, it's low scoring, and we could maybe do with a goal or something to liven it up.
Good puck out again by Clinton Hennessy, knocked on by Owen Lynch. This is Shane Casey dropping this in towards Milan. A little flick on there by Canning. Didn't quite work out for him, but it was still nice to see there's a bit of confidence Fergal Moore.
Bit of frustration creeping in there. Moving forward again, a bit of mouthing after it again there now, and
Fergal Moore runs back for an easy pickup. Clinton Hennessy. Well, it was an easy pickup, but almost made a mess of it. Aidan Carney has the time to turn onto his left-hand side and to drop it back down. Good work by Ollie Canning. Damien Hayes. The Portumna boys have an understanding. Canning to Hayes. Portumna onto Galway. And Galway now 2 points to the good here.
Ollie Canning is such a natural hurler, Marty. You know, just one look up there straight in. We saw him here at the previous corner here. Here's the ball in here now, and Clinton has. I think Joe Canning just makes people nervous. We just went to flick it out, and it could have backfired. When Joe lost his hurl, could have ended up in the back of the net.
Sideline ball being given to Galway at the far side. Ger Farher gone across to take this. Has the unique distinction of scoring a sideline in all 3 minor finals from both sides of the field back in Grove Park. He's a little bit further out to do it from here. Still a dangerous enough ball that Waterford will have to clear. Well won by Damien Hayes. He's not just one of these forwards that you have to feed, he works hard. Dangerous ball, Clinton Hennessy, good hands. Like a magnet, puts up the left hand, slither glued. Delivered down towards John Milan. Interesting tussle between himself and Ollie Canning. Fergal Moore. I have to say I'm a fan of Fergal Moore's. And it comes for Andy Smith. Trying to cut inside. His passage is blocked to the left, but he takes it on the right. Scored 4 points in the championship campaign, including 2 against Cork. Not bad for a man in his first championship season.
No, he's done very well. He's a great athlete and covering an awful lot of ground. He's adding on those couple of points now to his game that makes him a fairly complete wing forward.
Well pulled on by Shane O'Sullivan. Galway backs so far rock solid. Out fires Milan. Ollie Canning right beside him. Still Milan. Onto his right hand side, well wide. You'd have to say, Michael, Galway defensively look strong, don't they? I know they're playing with the advantage of the wind as well, but you just feel Waterford are finding it difficult to penetrate.
Yeah, they're all on top of their men. You really struggle to say any Waterford forward is dominating, and Galway are just creating a bit more space down the other end of the field, and Damien Hayes, Andy Smith, Angus Callan all hurling well.
Joe Canning. Point. Waterford feel that the ball was wide and they're all protesting. But Diarmaid Kerwin is happy that it was over the bar. And so are his umpires down at that end of the field. That's Kenneth Murphy and Brendan O'Leary from Ovens. Let's watch it here.
Look, it was wide, I think, maybe wide off the post, wasn't it? Went outside the post.
Looked wide, didn't it, Mike?
Hard to see at that pace, but I think when they slowed it in the other angle, it looked like it might have gone wide, but I think Diarmaid Kerwin is probably going to get a bit fed up of the back chat here, and I expect maybe someone to get a yellow card.
Clinton Hennessy is so annoyed, he literally pulled the slipper out of the umpire's hand. He's not happy with his umpire there at that near post. Waterford feel a point given to Galway that was in fact wide. Jeff Farah. Out fires Damien Joyce. Stopped here by Declan Prendergast. Brother Seamus is there. Here comes Malumphy again. Continues to work hard. He really goes into all these tackles and everything. I have to say you'd have to be impressed with Malumphy. You can see why he was an all-star back in 07. Here's Owen Kelly. They need to get him more involved. The pull by Prendergast. He immediately acknowledged that it was a mistake. And to the credit of Galway players, they didn't get involved in handbag stuff. They acknowledged that Prendergast made a mistake and he put his hand up.
Yeah, Owen Kelly seems to be struggling with that ankle and getting involved with the ref again there.
Davy Fitzgerald urging from the sidelines as only Davy can. The Fitzy style.
This Ger Farragher was an outstanding minor, as you mentioned earlier, Marty, and really a player that you'd want in your team. A massive free taker as well. If that happened, Joe Canning.
Ball drops in. Aidan Carney is back there with a little help from Brick Walsh. Here comes Farragher, laid on by Cyril Donlan, and that is over the bar.
That's a great score, Marty. Beautiful. John Lee travelled maybe 40-50 yards to win the ball, and then a lovely little flick from Cyril Donlan. Just watch it there, just left it in Gerard Farragher's path, and a super score on the run.
Remember in 1999 in the All-Ireland minor final, he was only 16.
That's right, he played in 3 minor finals, distinction along with maybe the likes of John Troy, Jimmy Doyle, just a few of them that played in 3 minor finals. Noel McGrath last year, of course, as well.
Holly Canning again. First to the ball is Brick Walsh. Rebound comes out past Tony Brown. Has nowhere to go. He's fouled. Free for the right half back from Mount Sion. Captain of the Mount Sion team that won the Munster Club title 7 years ago. 3 All-Stars in the cabinet back at home in the Slieve Keel area of Waterford City. Seamus Prendergast was being fouled. Free, dead straight in front of the post for Waterford.
And you mentioned it already, Marty, but they've got 1 point from play at the forward line. Seamus Prendergast, Kevin Moore, maybe a point each. Kevin Moore wing back or wing forward or midfield, and I think the Galway full back line in particular, Eugene McEntee has settled in there like he's there all his life, and his first game, and Ollie Canning and Fergal Moore and Damien Joyce all hurling very well as well.
Owen Kelly, 3 points to his credit already. That's an easy one for a player of that quality. 4 points between the teams. I suppose we were all anticipating, Michael, a better quality game. It's very tight, very tense. Nobody really dominating so far.
No, they're not, and I think maybe you find that. Look at this.
Terrible pass from Tony Brown. Comes in for Adrian Angus Callanan, and that's out for a 65. A most unusual error and poor judgment by Tony Brown. He was anticipating just to hand it back. Far as Aidan Carney didn't come off. Clinton Hennessy spread himself wide. That's a very good save by the Waterford keeper, and out for a 65.
It's a very good save, but Angus Callanan is all over the place. He's such energy and pace, and broke onto that ball again. And in fairness, Clinton Hennessy did very well. Callanan went to place it in the far corner, and 65. Now, yeah, we're waiting for the game to liven up. Marty, sometimes in big championship games, the first 15-20 minutes can settle down, but we're nearly into half time now, and the players on both sides are still a bit nervous.
Joe Canning on the 65, straight over the bar. Still elementary mistakes by Waterford that we saw in the Munster final.
Yeah, they just don't seem to be playing with the same sort of abandonment that we expect from them. The free-flowing hurling that they've played here over the last 10 years, probably involved in some of the best matches we've seen in the last decade. But they look to be a team on the decline now, and not playing that sort of free-flowing hurling. Damien
Joyce to Ollie Canning. Pass far as John Milan. Has to go back to Gather. Knocked out of his hand. Good block down. Still there is Owen Lynch. Owen Kelly seems to have picked up an injury there. He didn't like the challenge, and the referee has blown his whistle, and I think he's going to have a word perhaps with Owen Lynch.
But Owen Lynch didn't do the first one. Owen Lynch was involved in the first instance with John Milan. He didn't give a free for that, and it was Ollie Canning who actually was involved in the second instance. So I don't understand how he's booking Owen Lynch if he didn't even give a free against him.
Yellow card for the left half back. Again, an All-Ireland minor medalist in 99 and 2000, graduating onto the senior ranks in recent years. Owen Kelly going to take this free. I think that last chop down certainly affected the fingers. Still feeling a little bit of pain. 2 minutes of additional time going to be added on here in Semple Stadium. Owen Kelly with the free and the point. 5 points for Owen Kelly, all of them from frees. Let's just watch this again, Michael.
No, that's Owen Lynch just knocked the ball out of John Mullane. I didn't see anything much wrong with that. And there's Owen Lynch was just behind him with him a little flick, but I think maybe it was Ollie that should have been booked. Owen Lynch didn't look to do an awful lot wrong there.
Sideline ball for Waterford. Shane O'Sullivan. His brother Billy, of course, played several years for Waterford, and his nephew Philip O'Mahony is on the Waterford minor team that won the Munster Championship, and will play in the under-21 Munster final next Wednesday evening against Clare, which should, by all accounts, be a thriller. This one dropping into the centre of the field. Breaking ball, easily gathered by Jamie Nagle. Sent in first time, and here's Ollie Canning. Continues to dominate. John Mullane. Angus Callanan scored 2 points. 4 Waterford players around him. Nowhere to go. Nobody to pass to. Free to Waterford. Tony Brown going to take this. Perhaps get another score before the break. Dropping this one in. Owen Kelly is there. It's dropping in, and it's Colm Callanan. Safe pair of hands. Lays it out for his Fergal Moore. Damien Joyce. Back to Moore. Good understanding between right corner and right half back. Sending it in low towards Niall Healy. As Galway continue to work hard up front. Tony Brown loves the battle when it's tight, and he's winning those particular exchanges rather impressively. Deep into injury time, Waterford will try and register another score now, but it's a long way out. They're just outside their own 45.
Yeah, and Owen Murphy over in that corner, Niall Healy, I think he's a very underrated cornerback, very, very tight, and he's not given an inch there. And I think Galway will be a little bit frustrated. Now, they've had a lot of the play, but they're only 4 points up coming into half time, and really Waterford haven't got going at all. So Waterford will be encouraged, maybe a bit like the Munster final against Tip, have a good second half.
Great catch by Seamus Prendergast. Flicks it outside to Owen Kelly, and that is wide. And that looked like it was over the bar, and Owen Kelly is furious.
And I can't remember talking about so many decisions in a long time from the umpires on both sides of the field and in both matches today. That certainly looked like a point from here.
It certainly did, Michael. The umpires down at that end, Noel Toomey and Albert O'Riordan. Let's just watch this. Here's Owen Kelly. Can't quite judge it from there, but Owen Kelly is still giving out to the 2 umpires who are members of the Ovens Club, and some decisions rather debatable in this opening half. And Davy Fitzgerald is going to the referee Dermot Kerwin and being escorted away by the chairman of the Waterford County Board, and the booing there is aimed at the referee, and I think it's coming from the Waterford fans, because certainly look from our commentary position and that effort by Owen Kelly was over the bar. Plenty to talk about at the break. Here in Semple Stadium, it's Galway 11 points, Waterford 7 at half-time. Back to you, Michael.
Well, there certainly is that, Marty. We'll be talking about some of those disputed scores a little bit later on the programme. But for the moment, let's get Cyril Farrell's reaction to what he thought of Galway in that first half.
Well, Galway were on top, but they're only 4 points up. They'll be a bit disappointed, not more up. But like Waterford played very defensively, brought an extra man back around the half-back line to keep the scores down. And even when the ball goes up, you have McEntee and Ollie Cannon at times on their own clearing the ball. Now they're 4 up, but usually Galway play better against the Bees because they're carried. But I think going in at half-time, Waterford will be happy enough. They're in the game. They're big players like Owen Kelly. Okay, expect Rick Welch is there, but Owen Kelly, Prendergast, these fellas are beginning to play well. John Mullane has been quite enough, but like they're a man short, so they'll have to attack and go for it where it might suit Galway. But like they're not in such a bad position, but Galway should shove on and win it. Like
they're a man short, I suppose, tactically the way they're playing, but Tomas, it's kind of hasn't taken off yet, and yet we've seen this like in these kind of matches. Saw it last week as well with Galway and Cork. You know, cagey enough for the first half, and then it sort of opens up in the second.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, 5 points from frees from Owen Kelly out of the 7 points. Joe Kenny gets 3 points from frees, sideline are 65. It's very, very tight, and I know tactically when kind of managers looking where are we going to beat the opposition, and we're saying Mullane's pace inside, we leave a 2-man inside full forward line, Galway leave the extra man back there, Mullumphy is playing a way out maybe towards midfield as well, trying to take John Lee out of centre, and all of everybody, so it seems to be out around the centre of the field, and you saw a lot of bunching and stuff like that. There's no open play there, there's no open passages of play play that we've seen in the first half. And it leads to frees, and it leads to fouls, and then it leads to disputes from the players as well, as regards to, because they're not creating so much opportunities, they're getting frustrated, and when the ball that feels has gone over the bar is being way wide, you know. So a lot of incident in there, but certainly not great quality of hurling.
No, it's the cat and the mouse and the dog holding a watch.